All right, let's move on to the other group before we go on a break. Japan will take on Spain. Let's not forget that the Japanese beat Germany by 2-1 in their opening game. And then they lost, strangely, to Costa Rica, while Spain, they won their first game. They beat Costa Rica 7-0, but they drew goalless. Or they drew 1-1, with Germany in the previous round. And so it's Japan versus Spain to battle for a place in the round of 16. Let's have a look at their data. There you have it. Quite interesting. 0-0. Well, I mean, the Spanish struggled to create proper chances against Germany. They only had, I can say, one proper chance, and they took the Morata one. While the Japanese, they took on Costa Rica. They created a bit more, almost a round figure 1 in terms of the XG. But not too much of a difference, really, in terms of these two teams. So what are we to expect? What kind of Japan would you want to see this afternoon?
What stands out for me when you look
or
at
this
the
evening? I
numbers
think this game
is
is in the evening.
Spain is almost like with all the ball they have, they are not getting much penetration. Because look at the penalty area entries and look at their shots in the box. There doesn't seem to be much penetration despite them having the ball, which could be a problem. And when I look at what Japan did against Germany, they can do it against Spain.
Okay.
And it will be the same weaknesses Germany have in terms of poor fullbacks and transition defense. The same weaknesses Spain have. So with Spain and Germany being similar in terms of their weaknesses, the game plan that worked against Germany could work against them. But that's where the problem is. Because Spain are a bit better at keeping the ball, just a bit better. That difference in not having the ball as regularly and not counter-attacking as frequently could be what caused Japan. But the result is really there for Japan's sake. I don't see this as clear-cut as it looks on paper. Everyone will expect that, like we said before, and that's why the Costa Rica result was a bit of a shock. That Spain are the best team between two boxes, as has been said. But when it comes to getting into the opposition box and making those chances and using the ball, it can be problematic. So if they revert to type in this game, if we see the Spain that we've been seeing in qualifying, the Spain that we saw a bit against Germany, and not the Spain that played against Costa Rica, this could be a very difficult game for them, and they could easily draw points.
Wow. What should Daniel, what should Japan do if they want to get into this game? Because we saw what they did against Costa Rica. They just couldn't find a way through. They lost that game. But we saw their strength against the Germans when they won by 2-1.
Yeah, look, they need to defend much better. Even in that Germany game, I don't think they defended well. I think they were lucky in the first 70-75 minutes. Germany were just a bit too wasteful. You don't want to be cut open too easily in this game. Give yourself a chance going forward. Masusu said, you will not get as many counter-attacking opportunities as possible, but you have to be as efficient as possible.
Okay.
Like what they did against Germany. I think they had, was it 3 shots on targets in that game, and they scored.
The first time a team has had an XG of above 3 and lost. So it just shows that
how
the finishing was not there, but they still made it. They still put some pressure. The clear-cut chances were not that big, but the volume of them there was a volume of chances that they need to be wary of.
So it's about efficiency, and the Japanese need to do that. First of all, focus on your defensive shape, your defensive organization. Don't allow the Spaniards, because we can tell they love to keep the ball, but as to whether they'll be able to carve you open and create those clear-cut opportunities to be able to finish them off, that's where their problem is. So keep them as far as or as uncomfortable around the box as possible.
Okay.
Yes, they will penetrate, but don't let it be as clear-cut as possible, and be efficient. When you get the opportunities, be efficient, because if you are not scoring, they will by all means find a way. And you need to win this game to guarantee yourself a place. Maybe if you draw in Germany, don't win, but again, you don't want to be thinking about what is happening elsewhere. So get that result for yourself.
And just a small addition, I believe Germany are probably better at getting to the box and creating chances than Spain. So even if they struggled against the Spanish, remember their first half was nowhere near as good as their second half. If the Germans are cutting you open, I don't believe it means the Spanish will cut you open necessarily as frequently and as efficiently. Because, like I said, when I look at the two teams, I believe Germany are probably a bit better at getting to the box. Their problem is more finishing their chances. But Spain, the problem is even getting into the box to create their chances in the first place. So it's a slightly different problem, but it makes Germany more dangerous for me on paper.
Okay.
So I believe that the Japanese, this is this, though it looks harder because of the 7-0, I feel it's an easier game in practice in terms of what they have to do. Just that because they won't have the ball, their concentration needs to be high, and they need to be focused for the 90 minutes because it's going to be.
And they need to be ready for when the chance breaks.
The ball.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it will be more difficult in the sense that they'll have less of the ball, but I believe that the chance creation of the Spanish is not as efficient and as dangerous as the Germans.
Okay.
So there's that slight difference, but it will be a similar game in some respects.
Okay, we'll see how that one plays out between Japan and Spain. That game will be played later today. The other game is between Germany and Costa Rica, but we'll discuss all of that and a lot more. We'll discuss a few more general things concerning the World Cup and where we are now in that competition. Right after this short break, this is World Cup Daily on Citi TV. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.